Hey guys, this is Patrick from learnphotoediting.net. Welcome to this HDR tutorial. But before we start, I want to invite you to click on the subscribe button right below the video if you don't want to miss future tutorials I'll put out. If you are interested in more advanced tutorials, I invite you to check out my website, learnphotoediting.net, where you'll find better and bigger tutorials like those. So to get back to this one, I'll show you how you can use the HDR Pro in Photoshop and get pretty decent results. I will usually use Photomatics for HDR photos, but Photomatics is, if I'm not wrong, is about 80 bucks. So many will want to just try to use what comes with Photoshop, and this is the end result. And this was one of the 3 photos I took that for this one we will use 3 photos taken at different exposures, and we will use the HDR Pro that comes with Photoshop. So to start, we'll just go File, Automate, and then Merge to HDR Pro, and we're going to click Browse, grab your 3 pictures. In this case they are raw files. Now raw files are going to give you much better results, but you can use JPEGs, and if you want to follow along this tutorial, click on the link below the video and to get on my blog, where I will provide you with the JPEGs for this tutorial. The raw photos are like 25 megabytes each, so let's just work with the JPEGs. With the JPEGs, you're going to have it's not going to be the same exact result. The colors will be a bit less rich, but you can get some pretty decent results even with the JPEGs. So let's just click OK, and then Photoshop is going to do its magic, and this is what we get basically. And you will want to adjust the settings here. So here it's just a matter, every photos are going to be different. They are going to require different settings. So you just want to play with those until you get something that looks decent. So I'm going to put 378, 1.06. The gamma, I'll leave it like that. Exposure also, detail, I'm going to put 100. You can see the difference. 100 should be good. I'm going to put 50% shadow, and the highlights I'm going to, this is mainly the sky, I'm going to leave it at -47. Vibrance, I want this to the colors to be more vibrant, so I'm going to put 40. And then I'm going to see if I can improve the image with using the curve. So I'm just going to add 3 points here, and here you just want to play with the points here until you get the result you like. Here I'm just going to enter the settings I already selected before, so 24, 29. This one is 45, 54, and we will finish this with 73, 75, and then we will just hit OK. Okay, so this is what we get from HDR Pro, but to get a look that resemble what you could get with Photomatics, for example, we will want to add, let's just duplicate the background layer, and then we will want to add a shadows and highlights adjustment, and this gives us a tone mapping effect, so it just gives us a better look in my view. That resemble more again what you can get with Photomatics. I'm just going to here you just play with it and until you get the look you want, and here I'm just going to enter the settings again. 25, 60. Highlights, I'm not, you see it's highlights, I'm not going to change a thing. Mid-tone contrast, color correction, I'm not going to change it. I'm going to put minus, and then now it's a little too bright, so but I like the colors and the details here. To darken the image a bit, I'm just going to put 4 here. You could put the value you want, but those are the values I chose at this point, and I'm going to hit OK, and you can see its colors are more vibrant than before, and we will go from there. What I want to do then, I'm just going to duplicate this layer. This is going to be our base layer now. I'm going to duplicate this one, and I am going to change the blending mode to soft light and opacity 50%, and this is going to add contrasts, but I don't want contrast everywhere. On most of the image it actually looks worse, but where I want contrast is on the building here, this part, and on the cinema sign here. So I'm just going to create a layer mask by clicking this button, and I am going to fill this layer mask with the color black. When you fill the layer mask with the color black, you don't get the effect, and white will reveal the effect. So I'm just going to use the color white. I am going to increase the size of the brush to maybe 200, and I'm just going to paint. Paint over this part, So you see it gives us it adds a bit of contrast to it, and we will do the same thing here. And then we will, I want it to be brighter though, so like the contrast, want it to be brighter, so I'm going to just duplicate this one with the layer mask, and this time I'm going to choose screen as a blending mode. So you see it's brighter. I'm just going to erase some of the effect on the sides here, like this. So that's the look I wanted. Then also I want to adjust the sky a little, so I'm just going to add a new adjustment layer, and I will choose photo filter, and I'm going to choose cyan here. But again, I only want this photo filter to affect the sky, so I'm going to fill the entire mask with black. I'm going to use a maybe 400, and I am going to reveal the photo filter over the sky. Like this. Then I will want to add a curves adjustment layer. To see if there's any way we can improve the image. And I'm just going to put 3 points. And you can play with the settings here. I'm just going to quickly put 8169. The midtones here, I'm going to put 152, 125, and this one that mostly affect the highlights, I'm going to put 2. Oh, that's pretty cool. Oh, okay, that's, we're going to put 206, 180, and let's just see how that looks. Okay, all I'm going to do then is I'm going to just take out the, take out the effect on the cinema signs here, and also I want to take out some of the yellow we see here. So to do so, I'm just going to add a HueSaturation adjustment layer. I am going to go yellows. I'm going to decrease the saturation to -65. I'm going to increase the lightness to, because, you know, to make it look like it's a bit of a glow, give it a bit of a glow. So 7, and then I'm just going to fill the entire mask with black, and I'm just going to reveal the effect on the on the sign. Actually, I like the side one, so I'm going to just let's see. Something like that. And then I will want to increase the yellow, the vibrance on this part. So I'm just going to add a new HueSaturation. I am going to increase the yellows here, the saturation 37, and I am going to do the same thing, fill the mask with black, then reveal the effect using color white. So you get to see the difference here. And then I will try to adjust the whites in the image. To do so, I'm just going to add a new adjustment layer, and I'm going to choose Selective Colors. I am going to go select whites, and here you can just play until you get you basically you want to look at this part and perhaps this part, and you basically try to get the whites you like, the tone of it. And so I'm just going to quickly enter those values: minus 51, minus 45, minus 38, and you can see it's takes off some of the yellow out of the white. And it's pretty much time to resize your image to the size you want, wherever you're going to use that image, on a website or whatever. I'm just going to resize it to 900 pixels wide. And I am going to sharpen the image at this point. What I can do here, I can just use this base image, put it on top, and go filter, other, IPass, and for the radius I'm going to put 0.3 pixels, and I'm going to change the blending mode to linear light. And since I don't want the entire picture image to be sharp, all the way sharp, I'm going to add a layer mask. I'm going to use a brush with some black paint, and I'm going to erase some of the sharpening. So I don't want any sharpening on the sky. I'm going to resize a brush. And then I'm going to change the opacity to maybe 80. And if there's things in the image that is too sharp for your taste, you can perhaps put 50% opacity, maybe, I don't know, 20 here, and just take off anything that, you know, sometimes when you sharpen an image there's some parts that look pixelated, doesn't look too good, and also things in the distance like that, you can take away some sharpness. Okay, so then what I can do, I can add a vignette to this image. You want to take the elliptical marquee tool, you click in one corner, you release in the other one, and you select inverse, and you add a new layer. You fill the selection with the color black, blur, Gaussian blur, you can put 60 if you want, and I am going to put soft light, and I'm going to then decrease the opacity to 30. I'm going to add now a new adjustment layer, levels, see what we can do. I'm just going to leave it like that. Then what I can do, what I did on the other picture, I did a nice little effect which you do in a vignette, but this time instead of you know, using darkening the sides and the corners, what you can do, you can blur the sides and the corners. So what you could do is you just select everything, duplicate layers, and merge layers, and then you go filter, blur, lens blur, and those are the settings I'm going to use. So as you can see, radius 5, I'm just going to click OK, and then you want to add a layer mask, maybe 400 pixel, the size of the brush. You can put 100 here. You make sure hardness is 0, and then you just paint the center like that. And you can see it makes a pretty cool effect that you can try out, and then you can put, if you want to, black bars, and that's pretty much it. I'm just going to make a little adjustment here. Levels. I'm going to put 115 here. And something else we can do that I did with the other picture is you can add the original photo here. This is one, I think that was the most exposed of the bunch, and what you can do is, let's see, by changing the layer blending mode to color, you can change the color of the sky. You can have the sky completely gray, and then you can adjust this to your liking. If you thought the sky was too saturated for your taste, that gives a cool look. Also, you can leave it like this, or you can, let's say, put 50% opacity, gives us this look. So that's close enough. So this is how you can use the HDR Pro option in Photoshop. This is how you can create nice HDR photos in Photoshop without outside plugins or softwares. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Again, if you want to if you don't want to miss any of the future tutorials, click on the subscribe button. Thank you, and see you later.